I just want to thank everyone for being here. We've already off to a good start. 19 people, 12 likes. Way to go, folks. I appreciate it. So tonight we are going to, hey, Ron Crow. Hey, Jen. Tonight we are celebrating the 1,300 subscriber plateau or milestone. We hit that milestone, and actually we've blown past it. We actually broke 1,400 subscribers a day and a half ago. So we're on our way to 15. Greg Vanderlip, what's up? LCAP Addict, hello there. So tonight we're going to celebrate breaking the 1,300 subscriber mark. And now that we've broken 1,400, Weld, what's up, brother? Rolf, how you doing, buddy? So now we're going to shoot onward. I mean, the sky's the limit. Eagle Scout EDC, welcome. Level on up, hello. Rem is silent, hello there. So I've got some things to show you, some stuff that came into the channel. I want to know what you guys are carrying. We're going to do all of that. And then at the end, we're going to have a giveaway. And in the link, I should say in the description for this video is a link. Hey, Marco, to go enter the comment, to go enter a comment. So there's a giveaway video linked in the description. If one of the mods wants to put that on the screen, that'd be great. Fook, what's up? So, and that's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna use the comment picker for the giveaway. So like I said, in the description for this video is the link to the Shay, what's up? Is the link to the comment video. You can go there, leave a comment, just make sure it's PG so it doesn't get knocked out by YouTube, and that'll make you eligible. And one comment only, that'll make you eligible for the giveaway. And we got some cool stuff for the giveaway. We just touched on a little of it in the comment video. So, Kenman, what's up? What's up, buddy? Hey, Kenman, if you're here, you're a big disc golfer like me. If you look at that disc right on the wall right there, that's an autographed disc by Eagle McMahon. So I know people who aren't disc golfers and don't follow the Pro Disc Golf Tour won't know who that is, but that is an autograph by Eagle. And then over here, that's an autograph by Paul Macbeth, who I consider the best disc golfer in the world. So, Paul's my favorite disc golfer. We'll leave that down for now. But, all right. What's up, Caleb? Glad you're here. So this was kind of a cool week. I got a bunch of different stuff in. I didn't get a ton of stuff, but I got some stuff. So I want to kind of go over what we got. So the first thing that came in was by Rock Tool. Rock Tool and I are doing a collaboration video. So they sent me their newest tool. So that'll be on the channel coming up. I haven't even opened it yet. This is the first I've sorted out. So apparently there's a little starter guide. So that's going to be cool. That's going to be coming up. So that's another one. As you guys have seen in the past, I've worked with Byberry on their multi-tools. So I'm excited to work with Rock Tool. I need to do one thing. It's getting to be 1,000,000 degrees in this studio. So let me turn on the overhead fan. All right, let's get some air going. All right, sorry about that. I forgot to turn that on. LEL, what's up? Addicted to Blades. Thanks, Addicted to Blades. I appreciate that. Fred the Lug, what's going on? So, one of the other things that came in this week was from 704 Gear. And this one is the, which one is this? This is the Urban Ranger Light version 2. So this is the newer version of the Urban Ranger. This one is thumb studs. I totally blew that one. 14C28N blade steel, access bar lock. And the locking system works really well. There we go. Deploys pretty easy. I like the textured G10. They broke away from the, at one point they only offered their knives with the olive green handles and black. Now they've added blue and orange. Pretty standard, but really nice little knife. Great jimping up here. Nice thumb studs. Brian White, what's up? And just really comfortable, And 14C28. And these right now are going for about, the price varies. They go anywhere between like $26.99 and $19.99, depending on when you get them. Roger Baker, what's up? So this is kind of cool. I've reviewed some of their knives before on the channel. They did not send this one. I bought this one. But I am going to be doing something with them in the future, but not at the moment. Roger Willoughby, hello there. But I love these. I really like what 704 is doing. Anybody out there have any 704? I will say one thing I don't like is how far out the access lock studs come. That access lock just sticks out way far, but it works really well. But since it's behind where I grip the knife, I don't feel that. Addicted Ways, how do you like them? Because I like their stuff. This is my 5th knife that I have by them. And so far, everyone's been really good. So what you're going to see me doing is taking stuff off the table as we show it, because I'm going to need room here in a little bit for the giveaway and stuff. Thanks, Jen. Yeah, Cicero, what's up? They are great budget knives. Absolutely. I like them a lot. And they're always running sales. I mean, I think right now the Wildcat Light is on sale for like $18.99. I have the Wildcat, the bigger size one, and I love it. All right. So the next thing we had come in was designed by someone we all know and love, Aries EDC. And that came from Kooby. Came in this box. And get that out of the way. And that is the Bloom. The Kooby Bloom. And I love the size of this for an EDC knife. It's not obviously a bushcrafting knife. It's not that kind of usage. But for an EDC knife that I'm going to scout carry, I think it's perfect. Feels really good. I love the jimping up here. And I love it so much so that when Aries opened up the June books, I got in on one. So one of those knives he was showing off earlier is actually going to be mine. So, yeah, it's a great EDC blade, 100%. 1428C. I will say it needs a lanyard though. Like, you have to put that on because it's only a 3-finger knife. And I like to get that extra grip. So, but that just really gives me a little bit more to hold on to right there. But I love this. This is great. Like I said, as soon as Aries said he was opening the books, I contacted him right away to have him to get in on one of his newer knives. Or one of the knives he's making this month. So Adventure Man, what's up? So then something else came in, again from Kooby. And this is the Dust Devil. And I believe Aries was talking about this earlier on his live stream. So the Dust Devil is designed by Casey Spearin, of Knives Fast. We all know Casey. We all love Casey. And this is a nice little EDC knife. Very thin though. Very thin handle. I prefer a little thicker on the handle, but what I like about this would be a great knife to take out when you go camping, because of its shape and because of the way it feels, this makes a great food prep knife, which is probably going to wind up with my camping kit more than my EDC kits. But it could be used for EDC, no problem. But that blade shape, I think, lends itself to food prep. Really, really nice. You know, hey Kelly, glad you're here, as always. But Cosmin, hello there. But I like this a lot. It's a little bit bigger than the Bloom. Let's get the Bloom out here. It's a little bit, you know, it's bigger than the Bloom as far as length. Handle-wise, the Bloom's a little thicker and a little bit beefier here. But I think they're both great for what they are. Now, I have to address something. Caleb, who we all know and love, had mentioned he didn't like or wasn't sure about the Kaiser Buddy. He thought the Kaiser Buddy was a copy of the Bloom. But I'm going to show you, they're nothing like each other. There's the Kaiser Buddy, and there's the Bloom. Handle shape is similar, but not the same. And blade shape is a lot different. A lot different. But both great knives, especially for production knives. But the Buddy's a little bit bigger, as you can see. The Bloom is deeper from top to bottom. And the handles are, yes, similar, but not the same. You've got a much bigger handle on the Buddy. So I hope that kind of clears that confusion. Because I know, Caleb, I don't know if you had seen this in person and you were looking at it online. So I just want to kind of show you it's not really the same, you know, knife. But now let's move on to, oops, something else that came in. This is a big guy. This is the Odin Wolf. This is the Odin Wolf LF. So, show you this knife. This is a big fixed blade. Look at that. Gentleman of honor, hello there. I missed you coming in. I'm glad you're here. So just look at that. What I love about this is on the lines of size-wise as my Mora knife, but full tang, D2 steel, great jimping up here. Plus, you can really, really lean up in there because of the harpoon tip. And that handle is great. It's a rubberized handle. It just feels great in the hand. And I know Gideon from Gideon's Tactical put this through its tests, as well as G-Ball put this through its tests. So these hold up really well. This is a definite hard use knife. And man, these come in right now at, I want to say like 28 bucks on their website. But man, great feeling in the hand. Nice place for a lanyard. And a better sheath than the Mora. Whoops. And the reason why it's a better sheath, it's a little bit tougher on the plastic, but you have a place to put a belt clip on it that you can turn so you can scout carry this, or you can take that off and put a ulti clip on there, or you can put scout straps. I like having that option. You know, that's why I had upgraded the sheath on the Mora, which when we grab that, is it's right here. So I had shown you guys last week that on the Mora, that I upgraded the sheath on that and bought this aftermarket sheath for the Mora because, again, I like the ability to change out. So this one has a rotating belt clip on the back, but you can take that off, and because you've got your holes in it, you can add scout straps, ulti clip, whatever you want. And that just made a perfect upgrade for the Mora knife. So, and then size-wise, compared to the Odin Wolf, You know, so the Odin Wolf's a little bit bigger, a little beefier handle, but it's full tang. Now we know people beat the heck out of these. Hey, 1931 Leatherworks, thanks for being here. Brown Sugar, hello there. So people beat the hell out of these, and they hold up, you know. So now I've got two. Well, I've got more larger knives, but this is probably going to be the mainstay for camping and bushcrafting. But kind of cool. And then last but not least, this very unassuming plain box showed up this week. And in this plain box was a bunch of stuff. But most importantly was this. This is the Three Rivers Manufacturing Tagalong. Now look at this little guy. Another perfect knife for EDC. And I never thought I would like a leather sheath because I really don't. But they made this and they actually ship it with an ulti clip. I just didn't put it on yet because I'm probably going to put scout straps on this as opposed to the ulti clip. But it's a leather sheath, but man, this locks in there as good as any Kydex. And you can see it's even, you know, it's perfectly cut for this knife. And again, that's the TRM Tagalong. Now putting that up against, say, the Bloom, very similar in size, lengthwise, handle-wise, you know, but fantastic. Made in the USA, right in Massachusetts, not very far from where Caleb is. And I'm going to be seeing, and for full disclosure, TRM sent this to me because they're going to be doing a video on it. So I didn't buy this one. So just to let you know. And what's nice is they're going to be coming down to the New York Custom Knife Show. And they're going to have a booth there, and I'm going to be hanging out with them, which is going to be really nice. But really nice little knife. Only thing it's lacking that I wish it had, and you guys know I say it all the time, jimping. I need jimping. But it's such a small knife that really doesn't matter because you can put your thumb right there and still get a good grip and control. But I really like this. This is a great knife for EDC knife. So that's kind of what came in. I don't remember when this came in. I think this came in before the last show, but I'm not sure. And this is the little Trivisa. This is the boot. And nice little fifth pocket knife. Yako, what's up? So, if one of my mods can do me a favor, again, if you could go into the description for this video, there's a link for the giveaway. There's a link for the giveaway video. So that way people can go there and comment. So that when we pick the giveaway prize later, they're entered. That'd be great. But, and speaking of my friend MadYocco, as always, I had my MadYocco Hank that he made. And go support his channel and go support him. He's got some great products, and I have a link in the description here to his YouTube, his store where you can buy Hanks and the Wicked Wax, and I have a discount code there for anybody who's purchasing from Yako for the first time. So definitely check out Yako's stuff. He makes fantastic Hanks. And what I like about his Hanks is that he's very much part of our community. He's not some outsider coming in. So support Yako. I appreciate that. But let's talk some other stuff. I know I brought this up on the live last week, but there's a lot of new people here. So this is the Krabby by Ken Onion Jr. And this one is special to me because this was actually given to me by Ken Onion Jr. I became friends with him like back in December. And when he got a bunch of these to send out, he said to me, he goes, all right, I've got some to send out. Which one do you want? And I chose this one with the black micarta. This is a great, great, great EDC knife. So help with gadgets. Hello there. By the way, if I'm missing some people, it's because the chat is flying by really fast. But everybody looks at this and thinks, well, it's just another sheep's foot No, this is a little bit different. I'm going to show you why. One, take a look at this here. Notice this is all sculpted, but what you're not noticing is that this has a cutout right here that exposes the front flipper. That front flipper is integrated into the design. So if you look at it real quick, you wouldn't realize there's a front flipper there. And the front flipper is really small, but works really well if my finger doesn't slip off of it. What did it say? Mr. Eddie, hello there. But that front flipper works excellently. And then what's nice is that same cutout that exposes the front flipper works as part of the finger choil. So you can choke up and get a really nice 4-finger grip on this. Otherwise, it's like a 3.5 finger for me. I know, I still get 4 fingers on there, although it's hanging off the end. But you can really get a nice grip. And they got the really beautiful jimping on top. So this was designed by Ken Onion Jr., son of the legendary Ken Onion. And like I said, he sent this to me personally. This didn't come from Civivi. This came from Ken Onion Jr. himself. So this knife actually means a lot to me. So I want to show that off again because I know not everybody got to see it last week. So that's kind of cool. A couple of things that came in last week, but I finally put them together was, if you remember last week for the people who were here, I got a set of Flitanium Scales for the CRKT Minimalist. And there they are. That makes a world of difference. These scales are so much beefier and better to handle. Makes this a much more functional knife. And I added the lanyard, but this lanyard was, of course, made by Kelly White, our very own Kelly White. But Faithful EDC, hello there. But yeah, I love this knife. I mean, I love the whole minimalist series. I have multiples because all the different designs. And this one I won from Titanium Justin, his giveaway. And then like I said, I got the scales. I missed somebody. Just Nate, hello there. I didn't see you come in. Thanks for being here. But it just makes this so much more functional. Like, really, and I like carrying this as a fixie. I carry a fixie every day in the scout position. So I was, as soon as I changed the scales, I carried this for like 3 days straight, which I usually don't do. I usually switch out my knives every day, but I wanted to, really get a good feel for it, and it works great. And then the last thing I'm going to show you guys, and then we're going to do pocket checks, is I had also shown you that I'd gotten the aluminum scales from Flitanium for my bug out. So these are the loop aluminum scales. And they're showing up as orange. They're not really orange. They're like a gold color, but they work so well with the bug out because this bug out has the barrel spacers in orange and the thumb studs in orange. And now, instead of the cheap plastic Griy handles, I've got these aluminum handles that, one, they're sculpted out for the crossbar lock, which is really nice. And they're textured. And these things come in really inexpensive because they're aluminum, not titanium. Flitanium sells these for like $38. Like, really, it's like one of the best upgrades you can do on your bug out. And it makes it such a better knife. And I'm unashamed in saying I love Benchmade and I love my bug outs. So this was just a well worth it upgrade. Yeah, just Nate, listen, I get it. People will get pissed off at Benchmade because their pricing is ridiculous. But I've never, not one of my Benchmades have I bought at full price. I have waited till they go on sale. And same thing with this one. This one I think this one on sale. This is the model that comes in with the rust Griy handles. And I think this one I caught on sale for $119. Right from Blade HQ. So, you just can't beat that. Hey, Bill. So like I said, that's just about the best upgrade that I think, and least expensive upgrade that you can do to make this such a better knife. And because they're aluminum, it adds just a tiny bit of weight over the Griy scales. But so tomorrow morning I have a new video dropping that's going to be on EDC wallets. Something a little different. The last video was on flashlights. Tomorrow's video will be on an EDC wallet. So if that's your kind of thing, or if you're looking for a new wallet, check it out. I think you'll like it. Dwayne Letterman, what's up, buddy? Fred the Lug. I know I said hello to you before, but I think I might, or maybe I didn't. I'm not sure. I'm hoping I did. Hoping not to miss anybody. All right. So I'm going to show you what's in my pockets right now. I'm not carrying a lot today. So I am carrying one of my Olight flashlights. Love my Olight flashlights. You know, I wish they would join in and, you know, be part of the channel like Workos, but I'm also carrying my SOG PowerPoint. Love this guy. Just a great little multi-tool. As my wife says, I carry all my accoutrements, and I always check before I leave the house. She's always like, do you have everything? I'm like, yep, I have everything. So I also have my Swiss Army knife that I carry. And this one has all upgraded green toothpick, green tweezers, which I think look really great with that translucent blue. And then the green lanyard with a little glow bead. So I'm carrying that. Let's see what else I got here. Some more stuff down here. Okay. I am carrying my Red Ryder Barlow in the little leather slip. Titanium Justin. Justin, since you're here, you just got here, I think you might have missed this. That's the knife I won from you, Justin. Look at the upgraded scales. Those are Flitanium scales. By the way, this is another inexpensive update. These are like $14 or $15 on direct from Flitanium. So, also in my pocket, just wandering around, I have a little zipper pull from Kelly White. And the reason why this is in my pocket is because my cat took it and she was running around the house with it, throwing it up in the air. And I was like, no, 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 that's not for you. That's for me. So there's that. And last but not least, in this pocket, I could dig down deep in there, my Gear Infusion pry bar. So that's what I have. And now the knife. So the knife, I posted actually a video of this knife yesterday because I carried it yesterday and today. This is a knife I won from Gareth in his giveaway. And it was customized by Jimmy Crow. And look at that blade. Of course, it's QSP Penguin. This one started out its life with jade handles, but Jimmy Crow dyed them sapphire blue. And he did the customization job on the blade. Absolutely love this thing. But I'm a huge fan of a penguin anyway. To quote Bee's Blades, everybody's got to have a penguin. And to quote Bees again, would you look at it? Just look at it in all its penguin goodness. That's my best Bees impression. So that's what I'm carrying. Let's find out what everybody else is carrying. You guys tell me. I want to know, what are we carrying? I know you guys are probably tired of typing it out because every live everybody asks you that, but Kevin Smith and Nines, hello there. We got a bunch of people saying hello to each other. I have been very lucky, Fred. I have won, I think, 6 giveaways now I've actually won. And 2 I should have won, but one I fell asleep. Rob's Nerdy Knives picked my name, and I fell asleep because sometimes Kazoo can put you to sleep. And I'm only kidding with that, but I was exhausted that day, and I couldn't stay up. And I didn't make it to the end of the stream. And Level On Up messaged me and said, "Hey, get back to the stream. Get back to the stream. You won." But I was out like a light. I fell asleep on my couch. And then the second time, I I forget whose giveaway it was, but I fell behind. Oh, it was I don't remember who was, but oh, it was Tri-States, I think. I not even fall asleep. I fell behind in my stream because I was driving and listening. And sometimes when I go through the mountains, it kind of spools because I lose, I lose signal. And I didn't realize I was behind in the chat, and I was like 10 minutes behind. And oh, I'm sorry, it was EBD. It was yeah, EDC with DVDs giveaway, and I missed on that one. But Fook did something kind and gifted me his prize. So technically, yeah, that I should say, but I've been lucky. I've been very lucky. Well, Fred, New York's got tons of mountains, but where I live is actually in New Jersey, and I border where I live borders Pennsylvania and New York, that area. So the Pocono Mountains are right there. And when I drive home, I'm cutting through, and there's High Point Mountain, which is the highest mountain in New Jersey, and there are a bunch of other mountains. So yeah, so I lose signal a lot. So Matamoros, yep. Yep. I am sometimes in Matamoros, but I actually work in Middletown, New York. So when I drive home to New Jersey from Middletown, there are just places I lose signal. But Angelo, what's up? Yeah, like my wife Jen just said, where we are, where my drive home, I actually crossed by the Appalachian Trail in like 3 different areas. Lou, where have you been, Lou? I'm glad you're here. Did you forget now that we start at 10? Come on now. But, and I want to give a shout out to Lou, because Lou is one of the guys who comments on and likes every video. He's here at every live. Lou's just a good dude. And there are a bunch of you who are, but Lou is very outspoken in some of his comments, so he's very memorable. But, all right, guys. So, what are you guys carrying? I want to know. What are we carrying? Wow, we got 70 people in here and 56 likes. So, I mean, some of you guys aren't hitting the like button. Come on now. You guys can hit that like button. Hello, Kim. The Maroony, what's up? Glad to have you here. Nice. Golden Design Works Slim, nice. Absolutely. Everybody drop links. Well, you could always drop a link. Not a problem. Well, did I make you a moderator? You are. You could drop a link. 100%. Ooh, the Defiant 7 Talos. Man, that knife looks really good. Douglas Wagner, that knife looks awesome. I have not seen it in person, but I've looked at it online. And Nefarious, okay. JW Big Bro. Nice. Kevin Smith and Knives. Pyrite Light. Brown Sugar. The Pyrite Light is one of the best budget knives around. I love that. I have one and I absolutely love it. The only thing I did with mine was I replaced the clip with a milled titanium clip, which I used the Civivi clip because it fits perfectly. The Tenable Calibri. Okay. Whoa, I went too fast. Titanium. Justin has to go tomorrow. You know, that'll be awesome. Subscribe to Caleb's channel. That'll be awesome as well. Nate CDC. Oh, absolutely. Let's get him to 100 subs. We could do that. I mean, there's 75 of us in here. So, everybody go over there. Subscribe to Level On Up. You know, if you're looking, the Kooby, I don't know if it's Tidius or Tidius. I don't know how you pronounce it, but I'm going to go Tidius because it sounds less offensive. But I've had my eye on that knife, and right now, White Mountain Knife Works, they have some great deals on Kooby. Basically, what the price you see on Kooby isn't the price. When you put it in the cart, it shows a discounted price, and then of course you could use any of the 10% percent off coupon codes that everybody has. Whether it's Lefty 10 or DBD, use somebody's code, drop it down another 10%, and Koobies are like dirt cheap, much lower than they are, because for some reason, I don't know what the deal is, but White Mountain is dropping the prices on Kooby left and right. That's why I got the Bloom and the Dust Devil together, because both of those, and with no shipping, with the discount codes, both of them together were like $80 or something like that. So it was definitely worth it. Rolf, it's weird. It's weird seeing you without Barbie, or seeing Barbie without you on the live today. Wasn't used to that. I know she's in Florida and you're still at home, but I was going to call you last night, but I got kind of busy with a lot of stuff, and then I was getting real sleepy, and I was like, no, I can't call Rolf, but I'll touch base with you during the week. What did I miss that Lou said? Hey, William, glad you're here. And I just noticed you came in now. All right, it's probably a little far back, so. But so what else are we carrying? SC Knife Monkey. So SC Knife Monkey has some knife slips that he made. He has them for sale. I think, if I'm not mistaken, SC Knife Monkey, you said they're $35 shipped, right? So if you're in need of a slip, a custom-made slip, contact the SC Knife Monkey. Look at that. I plug everybody else's stuff. This is great, Oh, speaking of which, I want to plug something else. You guys talk amongst each other. I meant to bring this in the room before, and I forgot. So hang out. Okay, let's get this. All right, making my way back. All right. So in the description, as in all my videos, I have a link to my merch store, and you can get things like this. This is a crossbody bag, EDC bag, whatever you want, shoulder bag. And these are like, I think they're like $18 or $20. I don't remember what they are. I kept all the prices low. I'm not looking to make any money really on these, maybe a buck or two, but whatever. But I have all the Adventure 50 branded merchandise, hats, shirts, these bags, and everything else. There is a link to my store in the description. So if anybody wants to buy merch, you can. So, Civivi Buster. How do you like the Civivi Buster? It looks really great to me, QSP Penguin and the Kaiser Drop Bear too. Speaking of which, so I have something coming to me this week. I ordered from Drop Bear one of the custom mini Militars, and that's supposed to be here this week, so that'll be on next week's show, but I can't wait to get that. But by the way, if you do purchase the bag, the one thing it doesn't come with, it doesn't have the Velcro backing for patches. I added that after the fact, but makes a great little EDC bag when I'm going out, and I don't want to carry a backpack or anything. I just throw a bunch of stuff. I throw like an EDC pouch in there, like I'll throw one of these little EDC pouches in and other stuff, and my MadYocco Hank, and you know, all kinds of stuff in here. It just makes for a nice little convenient carry. So, buy my bags, buy my bags. So, but yeah, that's what we got there. So, it was a strange thing this week. Like, what happened with the channel? I hit 1,300 subs on the 13th. And on the 20th, I hit 1,400 subs. So I gained 100 subs in a week. And I forget what I'm up to now, but I'm well on the way to 1,500 now. So when we get to 1,500 subs, there's going to be a big, like a really big giveaway. I've got some stuff planned, and I've got some stuff that was sent to me by some of the companies I'm collaborating with to give away. So that'll be fun. Kevin Santer, I know you're here, and I forgot to say hello to you. So there he is, the man himself. Whoops. EDC with DVD. Hello there, my friend. I'm going to make you a moderator. How's that? There you go. I am so glad you're here. Oh, and I lost the chat off my screen. There it goes. It came back. So, I don't know. So what did you guys get this week? Anybody get anything new? I know a lot of people who went to Blade Show basically spent all their money at Blade Show. But did anybody get anything cool? Mick Ranger, what's up? Come on now. I know you guys bought stuff this week. The Order of the Blue Wrench. Yes, Lou. The Order of the Blue Wrench. And oh, and speaking of the Order of the Blue Wrench, a little different, but we are very close to being monetized. And at that point, we'll open up the Adventurers Club. So, and we'll have different levels. We'll have the Explorer, the Adventurer, and we'll have different levels. That'll be fun. And there'll be different perks for different levels, but we are going to keep it cheap when we go monetize. We're going to keep it very inexpensive for everybody, because again, it's any money I make for it just go back into buying knives for the channel. So it'll help offset things, but we're very close. We need to get some of those up. Yes, and MadYocco just posted the link for the giveaway. Please make sure you go there. We've got some time, but make sure you go there and leave a comment to be entered into the giveaway tonight. We'll go over a little bit. You'll see some of the stuff for the giveaway in that video, but that's not everything. I added more stuff after the giveaway was posted. I really just made that really quick so we can get some comments, But I brought this up last week, and I'm not sure. Has anybody heard from Tactical Llama at all? He seems to have disappeared off the face of the planet, which is a shame because I liked his channel and I liked hanging out in his lives. They were always a lot of fun, but he just kind of disappeared. Neil McKenzie, what's up? So we'd be curious if everybody knows. What? Not yet. Not yet. I'm close to being monetized, but I'm not a partner yet. But we're getting there. I mean, we're only a few watch hours away. We've got more than enough subs, but we're getting so close. Hanging out in these lives helps. I would like to do more lives, but I'm afraid to do lives during the week because I don't want to step on anybody's toes, and I don't want to be on. Yeah, it's weird about Llama. I had won his giveaway, and I talked to him. He was going to send out the giveaway prize. I actually won two of his giveaways. One wasn't for a knife; it was just for a sticker pack. I got that. 2 weeks later, I won a knife from him, and I talked to him on Instagram. He said, "Yeah, I'll be sending out tonight." And then he hasn't been heard or seen from since. And I heard I'm not the only one that he owes prizes to, and I don't care about the prizes, to be honest. I just want to make sure he's okay because he just disappeared altogether. So, and I've reached out and I've heard nothing. So I just wonder if anybody else, had anything. Yeah, it's like I said, just worried about, you know. I did get my stickers. In fact, on my bag here, I have one of the Tactical Llama Ranger eyes. But like I said, I won a second giveaway. Brown Sugar, did you ever get the prize from Tactical Llama? Because one of the giveaways I had won, I gave to Brown Sugar, and I'm just wondering if you ever got yours that you were supposed to get from him. No, you didn't get yours either. That's so weird. Well, hey, Brown Sugar, hit me up on Instagram, and I'll send you. I got a whole bunch of sticker packs. I'll send you one. Kind of make up for what you didn't get over there. Hopefully, you know. But is that what happened? Whoops. Oh, you got yours, Robert Wilby. Okay. Alex Kerber, what's up? Okay. That could be. All right. Yes, definitely. Definitely, Brown Sugar. We should definitely meet up there because that's going to be a fun show. You know. Oh, you want to hear something cool? I had ordered a blem, one of the blem blanks from TCal, and I ordered a scale set to go with it. What I forgot to do was order the lashing screws. So I called them the other day, and I got Mrs. TCal on the phone, and I was talking to her. I said, you know, I want to add the lashing screws, and they had two. They had two sets. They have the ones on the website, which are like $5.50 each for one set, which is just one screw and one, you know, receiver on the other side. So you would need three of those for the knife. And on their Whatnot app, they have the older screw design that they don't use anymore, but they have plenty of them. And those are selling for $1. So she said, "Do you want to just order those?" She goes, "Because they do just as good a job." And she goes, "They're only $1." And I said to her, I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Hold on for a second," because I was actually at work. And when I talked to her, I was like, "I have to go to my desk and get my wallet." She goes, "You know what?" She goes, "Never mind." She goes, "I'll just throw them in. Don't worry about it." And I thought it was kind of cool, you know. So she threw those in, and now I have that knife that's going to be sent off to our good friend over at Boston Blade Works. That's going to be sent to him so he can put an edge on it and sharpen the hell out of it. So yeah, don't sleep on those blems. I mean, you have to be. Yeah, absolutely, Weld. I love my TCal, the Piranha. Absolutely love that knife. But I wanted something a little bigger, and he had the blems. I mean, the blem is an unfinished. It's basically an unfinished. It's been heat treated and everything, but it's unfinished, and he won't sharpen them because he's selling them, like literally giving them away. Now you have to be one of the Patreon members to be eligible to purchase them, but I am. So I purchased it, and like I said, I purchased a set of scales. I can't wait. I can't wait for those to arrive. You know, but that's going to be a fun build. Like I said, I'm going to put the whole thing together and then send it off to Boston Blade Works. I already talked to him about doing it, and he's down, so I'm ready for that. I would try. I would try to do my own edge on it, but I don't know. I think for the first time, for an initial edge, I want to send it to someone who really knows what they're doing, and then I'll touch it up whenever needed. But thank you, LCap. I appreciate that. I know William Hornbustle. He did the same thing. He ordered one of the blanks from TCal, and he did his with a paracord wrapped handle, which I've done a paracord wrapped handle before. I have it actually over there on a fake. Yep. Gotcha. So I have a one of those oh, I'm drawing a blank. Oh, one of the Essie, the Zulu, knives. I ordered one of those, but not a real one. One of the ones from Amazon, because I literally wanted it just to practice wrapping paracord on, making a paracord handle. I wasn't concerned about the quality of it. Have a good night, Jen. Robo Stevo, what's up? But like I said, with that, I bought one of those SE, knockoffs from Amazon, because I wanted to learn how to do a paracord handle. And it actually came out really good. I watched one video like 50 times to figure out how to do it, and I did it, and it came out really nice. But I think on the T-Color, I just wanted to go with the scales. Gotcha, Justin. Absolutely. Oh yeah, Kelly. Like I said, I was watching videos constantly, and then I found this one that the guy really made it easy to learn, and I watched his video and I wrapped it, and it came out really good. Problem is, I have it. It's in a box under a bunch of other boxes. Otherwise, I would just grab it right now. I mean, for the first time, it could have been better. I think next time I do one, it'll be better. But you know, yes, Lou. All right, Lou. To make it easier, how about this? Ooh, I'll just read. I'll just hold my tablet up and read the chat off my tablet. That way, you don't have to see. But yeah, actually, I really should lower that anyway. But it is what it is. All right. So we're almost an hour in. We've got a bunch of time left. So what is everybody's favorite blade steel? I will give you. Well, I'll give you three that I really like a lot. Obviously, D2 is a great steel for certain things. Obviously, we know it's not corrosion resistant, but man, it's tough, holds its edge really well. I like D2. I like 154, and of course, my favorite steel is MagnaCut. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree, Ron, Jim. MagnaCut is by far my favorite steel. Unfortunately, not every knife is made in MagnaCut, and the ones that are, they cost an arm and a leg. I have, I think, 5 knives in MagnaCut out of my collection. So, but yeah, that's my favorite steel. And two knives that I like, two steels that I like, S35 or S90. Yep, both great steels. You know, M390, Matt, is a good steel. The problem is it's being done so much now, and I wonder, because it's being done on a lot of the overseas made knives, and I just wonder if it's being done correctly, because what I'm seeing is the price is coming down on M390, and I'm like, Knives are life. Hello there. 14C28N. Now here's a question I have, Kim. 14C28N, good steel, but doesn't have great edge retention. It's tough. It holds an edge really well, but the edge retention isn't there. it's basically the same as Nitro V. Yet Nitro V gets so much hate and 1428C gets so much love, and I don't get why. You know, Caleb, the whole Italian thing is blown out of proportion. Most Italian knives don't have a problem. There were some that were incorrectly hardened, so it just gave everything else a bad reputation. But the problem I have, and here's all right, now I'm gonna bitch because this is something that really annoys the crap out of me. I hear people knock certain things, whether it be, oh, I don't like crossbar locks because the springs break. Oh, I don't like plunge knives with a plunge lock because they fail. Yet most of the time, that's actually not happened to people. They've heard it happen to other people, so they get it in their head that it can happen instead of basing it on what they do themselves. So, I just find there's a lot of that goes on. I also, and I think the same goes for people who knock Nitro V. They're not basing it on their own experiences. They're basing it on what other people said, and that drives me nuts. Absolutely. You know, it's one of those things. If it actually happened to you or you've experienced it, yes, 100%, that's fine. But most people, they're commenting on stuff that didn't actually happen to them. You know, now maybe if it happens to me, if those things happen to me, I'll think differently. But I've never had an Omega spring break on me through normal use. I've never had a plunge lock fail on me through normal use. I did have that one that failed miserably when I did the spine whack test, which in that one of the early videos I did, and I actually sent that knife back. But hold on, I lost one there. But Mick, why don't you like Nitro V? Because relatively speaking, if you look at all the ratings, it rates the same as 1428C. I mean, so I don't get it. I get that. I get it. I know it doesn't hold an edge as well as like D2 or some of the super steels. But at the same time, people love 1428 and it's the same thing, you know? I get that, Justin. Absolutely. You know, but I just don't get the love of, you know, DVD. Yeah, like I said before, 154 is one of my favorite steels. It's a mid-range steel that performs very well. But I just don't get. Again, I'm repeating myself, but I don't get the love of 1428 and the hate for Nitro V when they're essentially the same. Dan said it does not. Go look at the ratings on Knife Nerds. They rate exactly the same in edge retention. They're both a 3. So it doesn't have better edge retention. You know, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Soul 7, yes, it does. It sounds more like a cheat code, but also sounds like a play call in football. Gabe, you are exactly right, and that's something I was talking about a few weeks ago. Like like certain knives, like certain steels, I wouldn't want for bushcrafting knives. But bushcrafting is a different use than say EDC. So you want different steels. Now, really hard use knives. I mean, AEBL for outdoor knives, fantastic. You know, in fact, well, we'll get into that at a different time, but exactly. But again, it comes down, Lou, comes down to the intended use because AEBL for outdoor knives, because of how tough it is, you know, and hard use, I'd rather have that than edge retention any day of the week. Some companies. Mm. Now if you notice, not many outdoor knives, hard use bushcraft knives, are done in like 154. You don't see any of them done in it that I could think of. You know, why is that? You still see tons of D2, AEBL, but the other thing too is, let's keep in mind, you're not going to have a steel that works well in everything, you know. Um, so it's a trade-off of what you want to use the knife for. DBD, I'm right there with you. I carry a different folding knife every single day of the week. My knives probably only get used truthfully once every 6 months because I rotate them. So I'm never dulling out knives. And when I do, it's just usually a minor touch up. Dan's saying that's true. That's absolutely right. In fact, I know some companies like this. There's a company called Dragon Creek out there. They're making fixed blades, and all their knives come in at a 15-degree edge, which is really nice. Yes, I love the RPM 9 steel. I think what CJRB does with that and what Rosecraft is doing with that is fantastic. But you know, I don't know. I just don't get the hate for Nitro V because I've got a ton of blades in Nitro V and none of them have been bad. You know. Yes, Jim Cox, that's true. The desk environment is very hard. You know, like even here's a nice steel. You've got on my Spyderco, you got the CTS BD1N. That's a fantastic steel. I absolutely love it. You know, on my Manix lightweight, I have the Spy 27, which is a great steel. But I don't know. That's the thing too. There's so many steels out there, you know. But I don't know. Now, some people give Benchmade a hard time, you know, because they don't like, the S30V. You know, I know some people have opted for some of the special editions where it's in the in the 35, but I've never had a problem with the S30V. I find it to be a really good steel, you know, but I don't know. I don't claim to be a steel expert either. I go down the rabbit hole periodically going through Knife Nerd's website, but I also go through some other sources too. Yeah, DVD, not everybody's into Benchmade. I am. Marty McFly, what's up? You know. Yeah, absolutely can, you know. Um like I never well, one, I always have my little whetstone so I can touch up, like if I'm out on the trail and I need to touch up a blade, I can easily touch it up with this. Any blade. These little whetstones from Wazoo work great. Good night, Fred. But I don't know. Let's move on to something else because we've discussed steels enough. I want to discuss flashlights. So I know people are big into Olight. I've been working in collaboration with Workos, and I've really started to like their lights a lot. Nightcore, I like their stuff. Nebo. But um, what are some other flashlights out there that you guys like? You know, or are we all Olight fanboys? I know a lot of people like Surefire, but I find Surefire to be really expensive. But then again, maybe not when you compare them to some of the Olights as well. Olight, Surefire, okay. WCK. Wooben. Yep, I have a few Woobens. Um, all right, so speaking of Wooben, so the G5 came out, right? And immediately, if you go look at G5 on Amazon, and it said you always get that you may also like, and you find 8 of the exact same flashlight but under different names. Is that Are they clones or are they coming out of the same factory but with different names? Anybody notice that? Through Night makes some good stuff. I have a bunch of Through Night as well. I like Through Night. No, I get the whole private label thing. Trust me. In my business, it happens all the time. I get that as well. But I find it weird because I haven't seen many Wooben knives out there. I should Wooben flashlights out there that are unbranded. Now all of a sudden I'm seeing the G5 and it's everywhere, you know. But Wooben had sent that out to every reviewer under the sun to push it, and then yeah, you can get the same one that they're selling for like even on sale they're selling it for like 19 bucks, and I'm seeing them all over Amazon just unbranded for 15, and it looks to be the exact same light. So usually Wooben doesn't actually let those out. Nice, Yako. I have to check those out. I really don't know. Maybe it may be a knockoff, but I could tell you like some of you guys know who are here all the time. I'm a guitar guy, and in the guitar industry, I can tell you now, you have guitars that are coming out of Chinese factories, right? That are being made for Gibson, and they're selling them as Epiphones. They're made to Gibson standards. But at night, when that crew goes home and another crew comes in, they're taking those exact same guitars, making them, and they're labeling as something else and selling them as knockoffs. And they're the exact same guitars. And I think that's happening now. You're starting to see that now in with flashlights. And I hate to say it, we're seeing it with some knives. Um, there's a knife company. I'm not going to name them. I was talking to Titanium Justin about this privately one day, and one of the knife companies that's being pushed a lot lately, I'm finding that some of their designs are showing up in other places, branded differently. But this company basically is claiming them to be their own. And I find it interesting because a lot of us were drinking the Kool-Aid. Don't worry, Lou. I'll get new spinning lights just for you. Fortunately, that motor broke. But yeah, I've noticed, you know, and it just, I won't say it bothers me because I'm not a person who gets upset by clones. I get upset by counterfeits, but not clones, because clones, as long as they're not claiming it to be something that is, like I've seen companies put out obvious clones of Benchmade, clones of Spyderco, but they're not putting the Spyderco name on it or the Benchmade name. So it's a clone, or as we say in the watch industry, an homage, but it's not or inspired by, but it's not a counterfeit. Like for instance, Ganzo has their knives that look exactly like Spyderco's, except they don't have the oval hole. They have a teardrop hole. So, are they inspired by? Are they a clone? Yeah. But they're not a counterfeit because they're not claiming to be, I am a watch guy. I have a lot of watches. One I'm wearing today is made by Infantry. One of the best inexpensive field watches you can get. $20, made by Infantry. And the loom on this is amazing. I'll show you this. Check this out. Hang tight while I get a UV flashlight. I don't know why I just don't keep this in the room. All right. I am a big watch guy. I love watches almost as much as I do knives. But, so this watch here is made by Infantry. It's a field watch, classic field watch. These come in, like I said, $20. I'm going to bring these lights down just for a second and show you this. Check out the loom on that. And it holds that loom for a while. Like this will stay lit, if I expose it to the sun or UV light for a number of time, that'll just stay lit like that. One of my favorites, and it's a company called Infantry. You can find them on Amazon, AliExpress, and now see, watches are an interesting thing. There are a ton of AliExpress brands that you can also buy through Amazon, but you pay more through Amazon, that are making some fantastic watches. Companies like Addy's Dive, Steel Dive, Pagani Design. They make these beautiful homage watches that are fantastic. And there's a lot of them out there, beside your big name watch companies like Seiko and Citizen, Watch City Knives, what's up? Yeah, Lou, they may be, but they're a great place to get watches. The whole watch community gets watches through AliExpress because so many of these Asian watchmakers are putting out fantastic stuff, And I mean, you can get, automatic watches by like Steel Dive or like Ratio that are just fantastic. And you'll get them at like $100. Sometimes it's down low as 60. And they're every bit as good as any of my Seikos any of my citizens. But of course, I'm still a big fan of the old traditional Casio G-Shocks, you know. Yes, Bulova makes some great. I have a Bulova watch that was given to me by my grandfather that I love. I have my dad's Longines, which is a great watch. I'm partial to Movado, like when it comes to pricier watches. But for my day in, day out carry, oh, you're welcome. For my day in, day out carry, I usually stay with inexpensive watches, usually $100 and less. You know, in fact, I have a video that's going to be coming out, which is going to be my top 5 EDC watches for under $100. So look for that video. Because I'm trying to do more than just, you know, I'm trying to do more than just knives on my channel. You know, I've got 2 sets of pouches that are actually arriving tomorrow. I've got a new Maxpedition that they sent me, and I have an ARC company that they sent. They're both supposed to arrive here tomorrow, so there's going to be videos on those coming out. You know, I'm trying to break away from just knives, as much as I love knives, but I really meant this to be an EDC channel more than just a knife channel. So I know some people may not appreciate that. Jim, you know who convinced me to get away from my Apple Watch? Marine X. I'm a big fan of his channel. I know some people don't like his channel. They, you know, think he's very opinionated, whatever. But he made me realize why I needed to get away from my Apple Watch. And I have not looked back. It's been a year and a half now since I took my Apple Watch off, and it's sitting in a case, and I've not looked back. I went back to traditional watches. I like traditional watches. I just like the way they look. I like the way they feel, and also they don't distract me. Well, see, Marty, I used to use my Apple Watch at work all the time. The reason why was because, you know, beside my day job, I have a lot of other side hustles that go on, and I get messages all day long, and I didn't want to be constantly picking up my phone, so people are thinking, what is he doing on his phone all day? So I would just turn my watch, take a quick peek at whatever message was coming through. But I found that to be so distracting after a while. And the other thing too is I hate that I need to charge that watch constantly. You know, I like the fact that this battery's gonna go for 2 years. I'm not gonna have to worry about it. I mean, there were points where I would get seriously distracted with my Apple Watch. I'd be sitting there and a headline would come through and be, oh, let's open up the store. And I'd be sitting there reading, find myself even more distracted than by my phone, you know? So Lou, that's one of those things. Have you actually read that? Because I hear people say that, but I can't find it anywhere in their agreements at all. So, yep. Well, he did Marine X did a whole video on why he lost and got rid of his Apple Watch. And what he said just made a lot of sense to me. It resonated with me. And since I was already a watch guy and had watches, you know, Lou, I don't want to verify it on somebody else's website. I want to go through everything I have from Apple, all the disclosures and everything. And I want to see it from Apple, not what somebody says. See, that's a big problem that we have. Too many people saying things, but when you go to find it yourself, like whenever you update your Apple software and you get that notification, nobody reads it. This guy does. I read all that stuff. So that's one of the things. You know, I have people telling me stuff at work. Well, this person said this. I'm like, did you hear them actually say it? Well, no, I saw it on the internet. but did you hear them say it? See, I'm one of those guys. You know, it's show me the evidence or shut the fuck up. I'm one of those guys. I need to see evidence. No, that's not true. I'm very open-minded, Lou. Very open-minded, which is why I read everything. That's why I don't follow one political party either, because I'm very open-minded. You know, I don't follow one political party. I don't listen to one set of ideals. I am one of the most open-minded people you'll ever meet. Chemtrails is a whole different debate, Caleb. And being a paranormal investigator, we won't even get into that. That's a whole different ballgame. It's a whole different set of rules. You know? But that's something I want to ask you guys. Since you guys know that, well, a lot of people follow me for a while. You guys know I'm also a paranormal investigator. I have another YouTube channel, which is based on the paranormal. I've been investigating since like 2005. I've investigated all over the country. Would you guys want me to do a live stream where we just do a question and answer about ghost hunting and paranormal investigating? Because that would be fun. Jeremiah, hello there. I think it would be fun if you guys really wanted to. So, Marty, yeah, you'd want, yeah, I'll figure out a night and I'll announce when we're going to do it, because I'd love to do a question and answer. Show everybody the gear that's used in, investigating the paranormal. Show people some evidence. What? No, I have not been to Louisiana or investigated there. I've investigated basically the entire East Coast, all the way up from Maine down to Florida. I've been out West Coast, stuff in California. But most of it has been all the states on the East Coast. And I'm going to put it to you guys in this perspective. I am not one of those TV investigators who believes everything is haunted. My job is to debunk everything. I, roll out tons of scientific gear. There's a lot of scientific theories on what is actually happening with the paranormal, and I'm one of those people. I'm not a believer. It's not my job to believe. My job is to debunk everything and find human explanations for everything. And then when James McCann, what's up? Then when I can't find a human possibility, then I would still say it's possibly paranormal. I have never been possessed. That's another thing. I'm not Zach Baggins. Not everything's demonic. In fact, I don't believe in demons at all. There's explanations for all of it. I have never been possessed. And yeah, 99.9% of the times when you go on investigations, nothing ever happens, unlike in the TV shows. But as my Bigfoot's an interesting one. And the reason why I say it's an interesting one, because there is so much actual evidence out there. But, yes, I agree. You do get, if you ever wanted to abduct me, just pull up in a white van and say, "Hey, come here. I've got some new knives in here." And I'm gone. Jersey Devil Mothman. We're talking cryptids. Cryptids are a little different than hauntings. I like with Bigfoot. In fact, up there I have a Bigfoot action figure somewhere. And right here. And Bigfoot. Am I a believer in Bigfoot? I don't know. But yes, white van, Yako, and just hold up knives. Open up a jacket with knives. See what I got here? You know. Wait, who has a ghost in their house? Mr. McKenzie. Nice. Nice. But you know, it's Bigfoot's an interesting one because there's been so many sightings, incredible sightings. There's actually a book that somebody wrote. It's Sightings of Bigfoot in New Jersey, which in this area they refer to him as Big Red Eye. And with that, with that being said, um, what they did was they went through all the reported Bigfoot sightings from basically like the 1800s all the way up till now, and they eliminated everything that was crazy, everything that you could tell people were doing it for publicity, things like that, and they rounded down to about 30 credible Bigfoot sightings. And they created a trail, tracks, and everything, and it's just interesting. That's all I can say. I don't know, you know, but it's interesting. That's all I could say. I mean, there was one reported sighting by High Point State Park, which is just 20 minutes down the road from me, of a woman in 1956 reporting it. In 1956, we hadn't had the Bigfoot fad yet. That was a thing of the late 60s and 70s. So this lady was reporting what later became known as Bigfoot. It wasn't even called Bigfoot back then. They didn't have a name for it. And this was an old lady who was like in her 80s. She wasn't doing it for publicity because TV wasn't even a real thing at that point in the 50s. I mean, it was, but not like it is now. So she reported it. And, you know, that sort of thing, when you have reportings, when you have, you know, people who reported it before the whole Bigfoot fad, it's interesting. That's all I can say. It's interesting. I don't know if Bigfoot's real or not. You know, I have a friend who swears on his life that he saw a Bigfoot, and I've heard him tell the story many times, and the details never vary. You know, so. But yes, thank you for putting up the entry video. I appreciate that. So what we're going to do, we're almost at 90 minutes. We'll hang out for a little bit more, and then we'll go into the giveaway stuff, and then we'll get that done. Yes, Neil, absolutely. But yes, I would like to do, you know, a live one night on just the paranormal ghost hunting stuff. Not going to talk about aliens. We're not going to talk about, you know, cryptids. We're not going to talk conspiracy theories. You know, I know a lot of people are into that stuff. In fact, when I was doing the radio show, we did an episode on actual conspiracy theories that were proven true, which was interesting, you know. But we will talk about ghosts and places I've investigated, places like Gettysburg, places like Burlington County Prison and stuff like that. If anybody's up for that, I'm definitely down. You know, Cat Scratch, what's up? I'm sorry I didn't see you come in. I'm glad you're here. So, well, that'll be a fun one. But speaking of fire on the mountain, so we'll leave that for a different day. You know what's funny? I've only seen like 1 or 2 episodes of Supernatural, and I liked what I saw. I just never, for some reason, I missed it when it was on. And I know it went forever. It went so many seasons, but for some reason, I never got around to watching it. Trouble Bunny, I am in New Jersey, but I live in New Jersey where it borders New York and Pennsylvania, so I am constantly in all 3 states. I grew up in New York City and then moved out of New York City when I was like 35. So, yeah, 15 years that show was on. Man, I should binge watch it, but there's 15 years of shows to watch, so, you know. Of course you would, Lou. Of course. I wouldn't expect anything else. Yeah, I will. You know what? We'll get that going one night. We'll definitely get that going. So is everybody entered into the giveaway? Knives, is that Warwick, New York you're talking about? Just curious. Because Warwick, New York, I'm in a lot. All right. So let's make sure we're all in Warwick, Rhode Island. Okay. Gotcha. The Ghost Hunters. Grant and... Yep. What do we got? Okay. Yes, the Ghost Hunters from TAPS, the Transatlantic Paranormal Society. Love those guys. Skinwalker Ranch. Nope. You know, I've not watched any of the Skinwalker Ranch, that show. I haven't watched at all. So I know about it, but I haven't watched it. All right, let's get this table cleared off, because we're going to need to make some room so I can go over everything. All right. For the video, if we will use the comment picker, but for some reason, if it doesn't work, we'll always have the numbers game to fall back on. I'm hoping not to. I'm torn on the numbers game. I like the numbers game. At the same time, I dislike the numbers game. Yep. Actually, I was at their headquarters years ago. I have pictures of that when they still actually had the actual storefront headquarters that they were, you know. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to close this here. And I'm going to get the comment picker up. So I will close these other pages so we don't have any confusion. Boom. All right. So there's that. Let me do this. Boom. Boom. We're getting there. We're getting there, folks. Wow. God, I hate advertising. You think I would love advertising since that's my business, but okay. All right. So let's get to the video. All right, we got a lot of comments in here. That's awesome. All right, perfect. I got that up already. All right, so let's go over some of the prizes we have. We'll save that till last because we're not going to reveal that till the end. All right. So we're going to have, for this giveaway, Ron Dobbins, hello there. We're going to have a swag pack. And I've got that right here. I'm going to go over what we have in the bag. In the bag, in the bag, in the bag. All right. We'll start here. Hey, we've got an Adventure 50 sticker. Actually, we got a few Adventure 50 stickers in there. You get some of those. You're going to get a little Kaiser sticker, a White Mountain Knives sticker, another little Kaiser sticker, Weldon Carry, our good friend Weldon Carry, another Weldon Carry, his other alternate logo. I actually like this logo better. Weld, this is the one. Then we have a Rob's Nerdy Knives sticker. Rob's missing the boat. He needs to have a kazoo on his sticker. That's all I'm saying. Smoky Mountain Knife Works sticker. An Eagle Scout EDC sticker, which these just arrived the other day. A MadYocco sticker. Remember, go by MadYocco's Hanks. Check out his website. Check out his Etsy store. Support MadYocco. You know, makes the best Hanks around. A Rainbow 34 sticker. A Splitting Slices sticker. A Ron Crow's Blade Woodworking sticker. A Zach Stuff sticker. Another Weldon Carry sticker. Kelly's Paracord sticker. So that's going to be the stickers. Then something else I'm going to throw in that's really cool. As you guys know, I'm a guitar player. And being that I am a ghost hunter, I have these custom picks that have my name, Lance Phillip, and a ghost on them. So you're going to get one of my custom guitar picks. Even if you don't play guitar, it's cool pocket jewelry. But you're going to get one of those in there. So I'll put these in there. All right. So we've got those packed away. Then you're going to get a zipper pull made by Kelly, Miss Kelly White, who does the best work around. And you're going to get a monkey fist made by Kelly. And let me tell you, these are no joke. Dragoon, what's up? So there's that. All right. And an Olight flashlight, one of the little guys, but these come in really handy. I love these. I've got, I don't know, can't tell you how many of them. In fact, there's this one here. This was the newest edition. This one's just a basic black, but that's going to go in there. And then, of course, we're going to have our giveaway knife. So it's a nice little bundle. So we'll give everybody, it's now what time? We'll give everybody to 11:45 to enter the GAW. So at 11:45, if you're not in the GAW, well, I don't know what to tell you. But so go to the comment video, leave a comment, and I will go from there. But yeah, well, I got to tell you, I really like the red, white, and blue sticker better than your original. Not that your original is bad, because you have a great, both logos are great, but I think that one just pops, man. Anybody see, there's a company called Woods Monkey that makes some really interesting knives. Anybody ever see their folding knife? No. All right. So it's a long story how I got into the paranormal. When I was a kid, my parents were into the paranormal. My aunt had a house that was, interesting happened. And I saw some stuff when I was a kid. My parents saw stuff, and now this was a house that was in Hempstead, Long Island, in New York, and weird things would happen in this house. My aunt raised poodles, and she had 4 poodles, and there would be this room. They would go to the room, stop. They would never go in, but they would bark at the door. In the room was an old crib that was an old crib, and it had dolls in it. That crib would rock on its own with nobody there. Like you'd be looking into the room because it was an open room. It wasn't like a bedroom or anything. And that crib would just start rocking on its own. No, no trains there at all. Um, but some of the other weird things that would happen, you'd put keys down, the keys would appear. You'd find them in a different place in the house. Um, things like that. Things would get moved around. But the 2 big ones, one, in the basement on the ceiling, footsteps would appear. They would paint over the footsteps and they would appear somewhere else. Footsteps on the ceiling. And nobody could explain that. They had priests come in to bless the house and the whole thing because they were worried at the time. But there would be footprints that would appear on the ceiling, and they were 8-foot, 8-foot ceilings. It was a full basement. That was a finished basement, and that would happen. But the spookiest thing that ever happened was we had an aunt, Aunt Phyllis, who lived with my. She was an older aunt, who lived with my aunt and my uncle. And Phyllis couldn't walk. She was in a walker. She could literally take a step every couple of minutes because her legs were that bad. Well, she was laying down on the couch, okay? And the couch was off the kitchen. The living room was off the kitchen. My parents and my aunt and uncle decided they wanted to do a seance. Now, so picture my dad is sitting here. He's in the corner of the room. There's a light switch literally to the right of him. They're all holding hands. They're doing this seance. They've got a candle in the middle. Candle blows out. Everything goes completely dark. My dad hits the light. Couldn't have been more than 2 to 5 seconds by the time he hit the light, turned the lights back on. Okay? Nope, there's a link in the description to comment for the GAW. So he hits the light comes on. Everybody's looking around like, what happened? How'd the candle go out? Mind you, they were all holding hands. They turn around and they look. Aunt Phyllis isn't on the couch anymore. They go look. Aunt Phyllis is in her bedroom, sound asleep. Aunt Phyllis was there. They all knew Aunt Phyllis was there when they started the seance. Next morning, they get up. They talk to Aunt Phyllis. Aunt Phyllis, how did you get to the bedroom? She's like, I don't know. I don't remember going to the bedroom. That is the freakiest thing ever. And that's what got me interested when I was a kid. And then the movie Poltergeist came out. And around that time, before the movie came out, or maybe about the same time, the book Poltergeist was out. And my mother was reading that. And she got really into it. And I saw stuff that I can't explain when I was a kid. So that's what got me into it. It wasn't Ghostbusters, although if you look behind me, I do love Ghostbusters. So right there is a cartoon that was of Bill Murray, in the scene from Ghostbusters. That's an autographed cartoon that I have. And then to the left of that, if you see there, are the original Ghostbusters that were from Filmation, from the TV series from 1975, those Ghostbusters. And that's autographed by Larry Storch, who's better known for F Troop. But, Hey, Blessed Knives. I was checking you out before on Aries live stream. Good job, man. Really good job. So, all right. We've waited long enough. So I'm going to grab the link for this video. Okay. All right. Content. Copy. All right. Now we'll go to the comment picker. Comment picker, random comment picker. We'll insert the link. Okay. Filter duplicates, filter comments. Nope. Nope. Okay. Number of winners, 1. 45 seconds, show random names. Wheel of names. 8 colors. 11. So we've got 81 unique comments. So that means everybody here is not commented. So we'll give everybody else, how about this? We'll give you 5 more minutes to comment. Well, 4 more minutes. We'll go at 11:50, we will draw the name. So if we can get everybody there, you have another 4 minutes to enter a comment. Because like I said, we have 94 people here right now, and we currently only have 81 comments. So, or whatever I just said. Yeah, 81 comments. Let's make sure we're all entered in. Thanks, Jim, for posting that. Appreciate it. You know. And just to let everybody know, just to go over the rules, the rules were in the video. You have to be over 18 years of age. You have to live or have a United States mailing address. You have to be subscribed to the channel. And I would appreciate if you liked the video and you liked here in the chat. Those are the basic rules. And you'll have to get in touch with me either through Instagram or my Hotmail address. Not Hotmail. What am I saying? My email address, which is adventure50@gmail.com. But I'll give you that information. That's actually in my bio too. So, but we'll get to that in a second. What do we have? We got 3 more minutes. 3 more minutes, and we're going to draw the winner. So I hope everybody's having fun. I love hanging out with you guys. I love this community. You guys all know that. Like I said, we're very soon going to be over 1,500 subscribers, and that's going to be a nice, even a bigger giveaway today. I'm going to tell you it's a small giveaway, you know, because this is kind of one of the in-between milestones, but 1,500 is going to be a big one. So, and at the rate we're going, knock on wood, because nothing is given, but knock on wood, we should by December have 2,000 subscribers. So, and that would be totally awesome. And I really want to thank all of you guys for coming by tonight. And hopefully some of you people who are new here subscribe to the channel, because that would be really awesome. We are very close to being monetized, and that'll go a long way. Derek, what's up, buddy? And Derek, make sure you get in that giveaway. But that's the one thing, by the way, I missed by not being able to go to Blade Show, was meeting a lot of you guys in person. I am getting to next year's Blade Show in Atlanta, no matter what. So, and for the people who are here in the Northeast, if you guys are going to the New York Custom Knife Show in August, I'll be there. Brown Sugar is going to be there, and there's going to be some other people I know are going to be there. And I already know, like, TRM is going to be there. They're going to have a booth there. Looking forward to hanging out with them. You know, like I said, they supplied the TRM knife to me to review. So I said, really appreciate those guys. So, all right, we are 1 minute away. 1 minute away. Get those entries in. Get those entries in. We'll refresh this. Paste the link. Filter duplicate users. Show random names. No, we want the wheel. We want the wheel. And we're not going to go crazy long. Whoops. We'll go 30 seconds on the wheel. 8 colors. 11. Get comments. All right, we have 86 comments. So let's hold this wheel up. Bigger. Okay. And we are spinning. Do 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 bum 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 bum. Good luck, everyone. So the winner is Donald Olinkovich. Donald, are you here? Are you here? Now, one of the things in the rules said that there has to be someone in the community who's an active part of the community, but I don't know who you are. All right, Donald, you're here. All right. I am going to allow it. Donald, you have won. So it's going to be your job to contact me either on Instagram or my email so I can get the prize out to you. So let's show you the knife that you won. We have a knife from Rosecraft, and this is one of their modern knives. And this one is the Tarkanis. So I did a video on this, a full video review, because this one was actually, not this one, but the one I reviewed was actually gifted to me by Raybo34. Well, this is one that Rosecraft sent me when they sent me the box of knives to give away. And look at that knife. That is a beautiful knife. The Tarkanis is a great, great knife. So Donald, it's your job now to you're going to take a picture of your login screen and send that over to me. You can send that to adventure50@gmail.com, or you can find me adventure50 on Instagram and you can hit me up there. And oh, Kathleen, this is a fantastic knife. I did a full review video on this. I mean, it's smooth. Just a really great knife. Front flipper or thumb studs, RPM 9 blade steel, hollow grind, amazing jimping on top. One of the few Rosecraft knives that actually has jimping on top. Full 4-finger grip, reversible pocket clip. So but really great knife. So you are the winner. You're going to get the monkey fists, the flashlight, the swag pack, and the knife. And I want to thank Rosecraft for sending that along. So now, Donald, you have 7 days. Yes, you have till next Saturday to get in touch with me. If not, this is going to go back into another giveaway. So make sure you reach out to me. You can even comment on this video and I'll reply with my email. So if you need to get that, but oh, you want to give it to Lou? All right, we did something kind for somebody, and Donald just gave this to Lou. Lou, are you still here, Lou? Lou, you are now the winner of this knife. So I think you'll enjoy it. Very nice. Lou, he wants you to have it. It's yours, man. Listen to that, by the way. Just listen to that. That just sounds amazing. I love this knife. Like I said, I have the other one with the red colorway, and but this Stormtrooper edition really looks cool. Donald, we appreciate you doing that, especially having to go to someone who's directly part of the community. That's awesome. Very, very cool. By the way, you've got the nice backspacer here. Small place for a lanyard. So this is just a great, great knife. By the way, Rosecraft does amazing modern knives as well as their their traditional knives, and now their fixed blades. I have never had a bad knife from Rosecraft. And yes, I know a lot of people say, well, you're biased because they sent you a shit ton of knives to review. And I'm only biased because I think they have such a great quality product. Like, if their product was crappy, you wouldn't see me reviewing it. So keep that in mind. Yep, it's the Tarcanus, Lou. So, Lou, you know where to get in touch with me. So just send me your information. And Donald, I appreciate you giving that to Lou. You know, you didn't have to, but that's what this community is about. Doing something kind for somebody. Lou, he left already. He said he was going to change diapers, and he jumped out of the chat. So, but that was actually really nice. And people, I really appreciate you so much for going up and showing up strong tonight. A lot of you are here, and that's great. And I hope we got some new subscribers out of this. And, you know, you guys are great. This whole community is kind, Shay. I mean, you know, and I should have mentioned Bluminati and Twisted Sis tonight. You know, hopefully we haven't forgotten about them. And people are still donating to their GoFundMe and, you know, taking care of them. And Legion Steel has the raffle to benefit them where you can win Asgear. You know, don't forget you can join their, you know, if you go to their page, and they've got the information up. I think it's up on their website. I'm not 100% sure, or at least on their Instagram. But let's keep continuing to help Bluminati and Twisted Sis. You know, they are a huge part of this community. And, you know, thank you, LCAP. Appreciate that. I should have mentioned them earlier. I just, you know, we got off on the live and I kind of forgot. And I love those guys. They're great, you know. And let's take care of them because they've taken care of a lot of us. So we're almost done, folks. We've got about another minute or so. I just want to wrap up. And like I said, I love this community. You guys, you know, I joined the community back in October when I first started doing knife videos and transitioning from motorcycle videos. And you guys have, like, treated me like family. Like, I've been here forever. And that means more to me than you know. You know, and you guys are great. All of you. Everybody who's ever watched a video, commented, liked, you know, subscribed. You guys are fantastic. And I appreciate it every day. And this community is just awesome. You know. But so Lou, send me your information. I'll get you this out. You know. Unless Donald shows up again, but he's you know, he checked out now and he did want it to go to you, you know. So there you go, Lou. Now this nice Rosecraft you can play around with. And it wasn't designed by Swag, so you. All right, folks. We've hit 2 hours. I'm going to sign off now, but I appreciate all of you. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you so much. All right, folks. Everybody have a great night. Old Man on the Ridge, I'm sorry. I never said hello to you tonight, but better late than never. Hello. All right, guys. Everybody have a good night, and hopefully I see all of you back next week. It'll be a lot of fun. All right. Good night, folks.